If you get a chance to live your past again, will you repeat the same mistakes or do something different? Sometimes life gives us a second chance, but does everyone appreciate it? Chapter 1. The Broken Reflection. Arav stared at his reflection in the cracked mirror of his tiny apartment. His once bright eyes now carried the weight of regret. His face unshaven, his clothes wrinkled. He was once a promising artist, known for painting emotions onto canvas in a way that touched people's soul. But that was before his life spiraled into darkness. Years ago, Arab had everything: a loving fiance, Meera, a best friend, Rohit, and a career that was on the edge of taking off. But arrogance, jealousy, and bad choices led him to ruin everything. He had accused Meera of things she never did, turned his back on Rohit, and drowned himself in his ego. Opportunities slipped away, and one by one, the people who cared for him left. Now, as he gazed at the mirror, he whispered, "If only I could go back, if only I had a second chance." Chapter 2. The Mysterious Antique Store. That evening, Arav wandered aimlessly through the rain-soaked streets. He barely noticed the small, dimly lit antique store on the corner. Something about it pulled him in. Inside, the air smelled of old books and forgotten stories. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with piercing eyes, greeted him. "Lost something?" the man asked. Arab scoffed. "Yeah, my life." The shopkeeper smiled knowingly and handed him an old mirror with intricate carvings. "This is the mirror of truth. It doesn't show you the past, it lets you live it again. But remember, a second chance is a gift, not a guarantee. If only that were true. Look into it with sincerity, and you will know," the old man said. Arav glanced at the mirror, and suddenly everything around him blurred. A dizzying force pulled him in. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in the antique store. Chapter 3. Yesterday Again. Arav gasped as he found himself in his old art studio, the one he had lost years ago. The familiar scent of paint filled the air. His hands, no longer rough and worn, were steady. On the wall hung a calendar showing a date from 5 years ago. He had gone back in time. Realizing this wasn't a dream, he rushed outside. The world was as it had been. Meera's favorite cafe still had the help wanted sign. Rohit's bookstore was thriving, but this time he knew what would happen if he let his arrogance and selfishness take over. Chapter 4. Fixing the Cracks. The first person he shot was Rohit. 5 years ago, they had fought over something trivial: his jealousy over Rohit's success. This time, Arav walked into the bookstore and smiled. "Hey, Rohit, I just wanted to say I have been a terrible friend and I'm sorry." Rohit looked surprised. "Are you feeling okay?" For the first time in a long while, yes. They talked for hours, something they hadn't done in years. This time, Arav listened more and spoke less. He saw the depth of his friend's struggle, things he had been too blind to notice before. Next, he found Meera. 5 years ago, he had let jealousy and doubt poison their love. This time, when he met her at the cafe, he looked into her eyes and said, "I trust you, Meera. I always should have." She was taken aback.
Huh, where is this coming from?
Arav simply smiled. From someone who finally understands what truly matters. He didn't rush to win her back. He proved his love with actions, not just words. Slowly, she saw the change in him, and their broken bond began to heal. Chapter 5. A Second Chance Earned. Arav didn't waste this second chance. He worked hard, poured his heart into his art, and mended relationship. He took responsibility for his mistakes instead of blaming others. One evening, as he stood in front of his easels, painting a piece that reflected his journey, he felt a strange pull. The air shimmered, and suddenly he was back in his tiny apartment in the present. But something has changed. The mirror was gone, his phone buzzed, a message from Rohit. Excited for your art exhibition tonight? An exhibition? Arab's heart raced. He checked his message. Mira had texted too. Proud of you. His apartment wasn't the broken, lonely place it was once. His paintings filled the space. His career was thriving, and most importantly, he wasn't alone anymore. The second chance had stayed because he had earned it. Somewhere in a quiet antique store, the old shopkeeper smiled. Not everyone understands the true value of a second chance, but he did.